And in the end, all four of us had quite different approaches and how we worked our particular patches that we had, but all of us became actually really successful. And we managed to build up sales areas from invoicing nothing to like far surpassing the sales targets that we were set, and working on, good margins and all these things that were obviously really important to the businesses. However, one thing, and this is where the whole spark for understanding humans really, really, really ignited with me. We had quite a lot of training in that role, in that business, which used some personality profiling as part of it. And I was absolutely fascinated by it. And ironically, I'd already been picking up books in bookshops about like body language and understanding personality types and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I was already kind of interested in it. Then I encountered it a lot in the workplace, and it helped. I could see how it really helped sales teams understand each other and how we could maybe understand clients a bit better and communicate between different levels in the, the structure in the business. So I was absolutely fascinated and then I was like, well, I want to know the science behind it. And also I'm like, why, like when I'm picking up these books off the shelves in wherever, how do I know the book that I'm picking up that's really interesting is actually the right thing to be reading? So in the end, that's when I decided for a hobby, and it was very much for a hobby. I'm going to make sure I pick up the right books, and therefore I will pick up the textbooks of a degree. And I enrolled on a degree in psychology. And I did it in my spare time. I just kind of did it for over 5.5 years. And I learned all about the science behind those personality profiling frameworks that are used quite a lot in businesses. And some definitely have stood the test of time better than others. But that whole thing, like when I was doing that job and when I was talking to those people, and like I say, like on a personal note, I felt like I was going to probably have to prove myself even harder in that role. The thing that I really found was that just saying things in a slightly different way actually resulted in some pretty big differences in the outcomes of like whether a client would take my call, whether I would have an opportunity to quote on a project, whether or not I could influence the sale in some way, shape or form, basically. So that's when I realised there is some science behind this, and it can have like some really big results.